Greetings, my darlings. This is Miss Darling in the studio. Today, I want to do some embellishment or decorating of copyboards. Copyboards are, as the name implies, copies of a masterboard. And some while ago, I created this diagonal style masterboard from which I made this copy. So this is a copyboard of that original board. And because I've got quite a bit of curved lines and shapes and it looks a bit feminine, I thought I'm going to decorate this for a 2-page spread, and I'm going to add some colorful flowers. I have pre-picked some great stickers that I have, and I'm going to kind of group these two together up in this area and have this one down here. Whether I will yet make a copy of this copyboard so that I can cut it up remains to be seen. But anyway, I'm just going to decorate it however I feel inclined to do. And it's important that you do not make your focal point decoration the same size. That's why I'm putting 2 together. Here I've got 3 together, and then I'm going to use this one up in this area as a solo decoration. And by working in odd numbers and grouping, you can increase the size and shape of one particular section, so it does not wind up being monotonous by everything being exactly the same size or close to it. I'm happy with this arrangement, and these are stickers that I purchased off the internet, and so I'm going to lay them in now. I don't care for the stickers that are done on a glossy substance, as they attract a different kind of attention to themselves when they're glossy. And I love these because they're a matte finish and they seem to blend in so much better to the background, which is also matte. I want to make sure I'm not going to cross over the halfway point. It's approximately here. I am aware that I have a warm red on this side and a cool red, more like a burgundy, over on this side. I I'm okay with mixing the warm and the cool on the same board, just not the same side. Make sure when you're working with florals that your stems are always down and the flowers are more looking up rather than pointed downward. Now one could easily stop at this point and you have two very nicely divided pages. So if you were going to fold it this way, it could make a very nice center of a signature. And if you were folding it the opposite way, it would make very nice single pages, whether you folded or cut it. This is a little bit difficult to fold because I have glued this already to another sheet of cardstock on the back that is lined, so that if I were to use it in a journal, I've already got lined pages there for someone to journal, and I could also embellish on top of the lines if I wanted to. I'm not going to at this point. And there we have that one. So we'll move on. This is a copy board from an original horizontal MasterBoard that I just got through making. And this is at its full strength value-wise. And I have also made a MasterBoard of the same, well, a copy board of the same MasterBoard, but I have tinted it lighter so that I can come in now and attach some ephemera on top that will show through because the copy board background is lighter. I'm going to work on that right now. I think I'll maybe use a glue stick because of the size of these. And it is so tacky. I think I'll put it down on this sheet. These are torn off sections from a Tim Holtz tissue product. This particular copy board I intend to cut up into tags and bookmarks and other ephemera. So I'm going to be loading it up with other design elements to make my tags more interesting. One of the things I really like working with are large numbers. This is a stamp, again, it's Tim Holtz collection from Stampers Anonymous, and numeric CMS 161. And I really love these. They're really large and make it really easy to add a focal point, or at least a number of interesting areas that then will get cut up in assorted ways on tags and bookmarks. So it's just, I'm not going to think about this too much. I'm just going to stamp it in random places. I didn't get the best reproduction there, but you know, everything's kind of grungy looking, so I guess it fits in. Okay, down here I got 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Eight looks a little too much like 3, so let's maybe go with 5. 5's not in the group. Get it nice and wet. I think the brokenness is a result of the type of paper. This is a parchment cardstock, and it is, especially you notice it when you cut it, it is a bit more crumbly than other types of paper. So I think this mottled pattern we're getting in the number is because of the paper, not because I didn't put enough ink on it or even pressure. You can see right here it crossed over onto the overlay that I had put down, and it's much darker there than out here where the, but I do have overlay there too, so I don't know. I guess I'm just not strong enough. Alright, I think that's going to do it for, maybe I'll just do a little something off to bleed off over here. What number shall I use? Oh, 4 looks pretty good. I'm going to stand up this time, see if I get a little darker. I think we'll throw in some of this lettering. I like this, it's quite grungy looking. And I think we'll finish off with some script. And I'll need a larger block for this one. And I think that'll do it for stamping. I'm going to have to start a new clip, so I'll be right back. Alright, I decided I'd like to maybe introduce a third color. It was very monochromatic up until this point, so I have decided to bring in some red, orange, or some reddish tones, and I went through my drawer of, this is like tickets and little certificates and all kinds of ephemera that I have fussy cut and put into this drawer. And so let's just take a look at what we've got here, and maybe I'll just start kind of push them off to the side and then bring a few in for consideration. I'm not real hip on these kind of tickets, so I'm going to take those out. I like things like this. Things like that. Stamps. I don't know if that's too bold. Maybe so it'll attract all the attention. Maybe I'll tone it down with this color. I think I like that better than this. Here's something a little different. Okay, and this is going to be a copy board that will be cut up into smaller ephemera, so it doesn't really matter what you put where. You just want to distribute it around and kind of look for places that are a little on the boring side that need a pick-me-up, and just plop them in there. Want to preserve my big numbers, so I'm going to avoid covering them. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Nice distribution of color and interest all over the place while preserving the large numbers as much as possible. So I think we're going to go with that. Now we have the fun of gluing them all down and trying to remember what we've glued and what still needs to be glued. Can get a little confusing at times. I hope you can see that you create your basic MasterBoard, and from then on it can take a multitude of different directions, and there's just no end to the variety that you can create off of that one single MasterBoard, assuming you're making copy boards. And of course you can copy at full strength or tint it at any percentage you want to. It can be even lighter than what I've done. You don't want to go so light that you lose the background altogether. Now, because I've got lined paper on the back, I'm going to be cutting my shapes out all with this as my vantage point, and trying not to go sideways because then the lines in the back are vertical rather than horizontal, which makes it unsuitable for writing. Unless you're from the Orient, then of course you'll love it. You do not, of course, have to have lined the back. And you can wait until you've made all of your small pieces and then decide what you're going to do with the back of each one individually. That works too. It's just that it's more time consuming to do it that way. everything's glued on. I think I'm going to look to add just a little bit of another color for fun. The red, of course, will dominate, and I don't know how much I would even have of a bluish nature. If you think about interior decorating, you always want to have an odd percentage of the colors that you're using, and this blue is going to act more like an accent color, of which you only, like in a room, you would only want to use about 10% of that color in the room, and the rest would be the other more dominant colors that you are using for your background and for your main pieces. And since the blue could represent a pillow on a sofa or a chair, I'm going to kind of group them together, these blue pieces, so that they look planned and like they're supposed to be there instead of just being scattered all around. So obviously that blue's not going to show up in every piece I cut, but it will be in some of them, and it'll be a nice refreshing change to the others from the same copy board. What do we have here? Here's something. So I've got a nice triangular feel there. Assuming this copy board would not be cut up at all, I want to make sure that the whole thing looks good without being cut up, as well as providing plenty of interest there for anyone wanting to cut it up into smaller pieces. Yeah, I think that looks just about right. So I would say we've got about 60% in the neutral, brown, black, beige, tan, and then about 30% in the orangey red, and about 10% or less in this blue. That just really helps it all pop, I think. Yes, indeed, I am happy with that. So now I'm going to start a new clip, and I'm going to go ahead and decide using my acrylic templates where I'm going to make my cuts, and we'll go ahead and cut it out and see what we get. Be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back with my acrylic templates. If you have not made yourself a set of these, I highly suggest you do so. If you look in my channel for the second video that I ever posted, it is a video on how I went about making these acrylic templates. They do get a little grungy as you use them, picking up little bits of glue or paper or whatever. So you have to clean them off, but that helps you actually being able to see it. So I don't clean too much of them off. So I'm going to pick up some of this 3. I'm going to put it on the outside. Maybe come in a little bit more, you know, but I'm going to have it bleed off that far side there. And the advantage of the acrylic templates is they really help you position where is best to make your cuts. And we know that there's going to be leftovers, and that's okay. Leftovers can be used to further embellish the tags or ephemera that you have chosen to cut. And if not for this project, then they can be used at any time. I'm going to drop down here. I want to pick up that 5 and that 8 in a strategic, good location for a focal point. It's not going to leave me much on either side for any, well, it doesn't leave me any room at all for another large tag or even a medium-sized one. I'll be having to use a lot of these small ones, but I'm okay with that because there's plenty of need for them. So I'll just kind of position that small one first and then butt up the medium-sized one right next to it. So nothing ever goes to waste. Unless you throw it away. I have pieces that I cut away a year ago that are in my stash, and I'm looking around for something and grab it up, and it has found a home. I really only have this small one that I can position around. If I go that way, my lines are going to be vertical, so I'm going to try to stay as much as possible with everything going the same direction. And then leave an area like that. It could become an art card of its own, or be used to embellish one of these other pieces. So I am going to get one large tag, a medium-sized tag, and 3 small tags out of this one copy board with extras. Oh wait, I might can get another one up here. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 small tags, 1 medium, and 1 large. Where's my cut? There it is. Not very visible. All right, let's see what we got. By the way, if you like and find this content valuable, I hope you'll subscribe and of course share it with family, friends, co-workers, anyone interested in learning about design concepts and in particular crafting. I'm sure they would enjoy it if you shared the video with them, and that of course would help the channel, and I would appreciate that. Please give it a like and add a comment. Love to hear from you, get to know you, ask questions. Tell me what you like, what you'd like to see me cover in the future, whatever you want to say. I'd be most happy to hear from you. Also, please visit my Etsy shop for resources to help you if you're doing something along the same lines as the content of this video, or if you need resources for other projects you're working on. I hope you'll go take a peek. My Etsy shop is the same name as the channel, Miss Darling Arts. Darling is a nickname my precious daughter gave me. So that's why I kept it for the YouTube channel. Her name is Swoop, by the way, and she's a filmmaker in her own right. If you get a chance, go check her out. Name of her channel is simply Swoop, S-W-O-O-P. Alright, there's a tag. Okay, this is leftover. When I get them all cut out, we'll have a good look at each one of them. And our leftover bits as well. I can see that some of the tissue, did I cut off? Help me out, folks. Did I cut off that medium tag and make it too short? I surely did. So we will have to patch them back together. It is the downside of busy boards. You can get yourself confused. At least I do. Well, I can do that, or I can simply extend. I can simply extend this all the way to the top and just have a different tag, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Be a lot easier than trying to patch two pieces together. I should, at the time I outline something, I should double check to make sure my outlines are strong enough for me to see them afterwards. So I'm not going to get the number 5 and that nice little 8 there up farther higher on my tag as I wanted it, but it's going to work out. We just adjust, and I found that mistakes can often turn out to be the best thing that ever happened. So when I mess up, I don't get mad, I just adjust and go on. Alright, plenty of extra stuff lying around. I'll get that out of the way for right now so we can have a proper show and tell. Alright, here's the large tag and the medium-sized tag, and then we have all of these smaller tags. And remember, I said the blue is not going to get distributed on all of them, but it is on all but 2. And so those are kind of mates, and then these are mates in here. And so let's look on the back. We have our lined paper looking quite good. I'm going to snip off just above this line at the bottom because it is too close to the edge and doesn't feel good. So we'll snip that off, and let's take a look at the back of this. This is nicely distributed. The lines look straight. Very happy. Here, same thing. Pretty pretty much the same thing. We're a little bit close here on the bottom, so I think I don't like snipping off the bottoms of these smaller ones because they're already short enough. I don't want them to wind up looking stubby, but I just took off a hair. And here, I think it's high enough. I'm just going to leave that one. If it was just a hair lower, I would trim it off, but I think I'm okay with that. Same thing here. So there we have 6 tags out of 1 copy board, and then I have some rather good sized pieces left over. I always cut off these triangular shapes, but I kind of keep them because oftentimes I might, for instance, glue one down there in a corner to enhance a corner of a tag. They come in very handy for that. And we've got this section here. We've got these numbers here, which could maybe, I might take that piece and kind of break up this orangey looking, rusty looking shape there that's not really doing much for me. So I might glue that across there, and I think that would be a good idea. And we've got this here. Here's a nice blue section that if I wanted to add some blue over here to, maybe I would just take a portion of that, glue that down, gives me a little bit of blue left over that I could use maybe on this one if I want to have blue on every tag. So you see, you can play around with your leftover bits and use them to correct areas of your tags that you're not happy with, and then go from there. And obviously, anytime you have a fairly sizable piece, you definitely want to save it. And it's up to you how many little tiny pieces you're comfortable with sending to the trash can. Here's a nice sizable blue triangular shape. That I might looks like I could straighten it up and it could go on a right-hand corner. So maybe, you know, if I didn't drop that in there, maybe I would drop a little bit of blue down into the corner and save this for some other, maybe more important purpose. And there you go. So like I say, be sure and check my Etsy shop for ephemera. Also, the description box below the video will have links to other resources that can help you with your crafting. Be sure and give this a like and subscribe and share the video. I would most appreciate it. For now, thank you for being with me, and I hope to see you in my next video. For now, this is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.